In today's class, we will start the projection of the solids. So, a solid is a three-dimensional object having length, width, and thickness. So, we have seen the line that is having the length only. Then we have seen the plane that is having a width and length. And in the solid, we are having all of three dimensions like length, width, and thickness. And it is completely bounded by a surface or surfaces, which may be curved or plane. Like if you consider a cube, okay, so it is bounded by a square plane, right? And suppose as we have seen the like cone, so cone have a curved surface. So the shape of the solid is described by drawing its two orthographic views, usually on the two principal planes, that is horizontal plane and vertical plane. For some complicated solids, in addition to the above principal views, side view is also required. A solid is an aggregate of points, line, and planes. Means all the problem of the projection of the solid would resolve themselves into projection of the point, line, and planes. So we have already learned the projection of the point, line, and planes. So if you know these things in details, there will be no problem in drawing the projection of the solids. So before going to projection of the solids, first we will see what are the classification of the solids. So the solids are divided into main two groups. First one is the polyhedra and the second one is the solids of revolutions. So what are they? We will see. A polyhedra is defined as a solid bonded by planes called faces which meet in a straight line called the edges. So in the diagram we can see it is a triangular prism. We will see the definition of the prism as well. So in the polyhedra we are having the planes called the faces. So these rectangular faces, okay, or rectangular plane are called the faces, and these rectangular faces are meeting at this line. This line is called as the edges. So this is the axis of the prism. This is called the faces. This is your edge. This is your base. So you can say it as a top, and below one you can say it is a base. So it is the top of the prism, it is the base of the prism. The polyhedra may be defined as the either as the regular polyhedra such as tetrahedron, cube or hexahedron, octahedron, dodecahedron, and icosahedron. And the second one is the prism. And the third one is the pyramid. So we can see in the figure, this is your regular polyhedras like tetrahedron. This is having a 4 equal equilateral triangles. The second one is the cube, 6 equal square faces. This is a octahedron which is having the 8 equal equilateral triangle. This is your dodecahedron. It is having a 12 equal regular pentagonal faces, as you can see. And the last one is the icosahedron. So this is having the 20 equal equilateral triangular faces. So we are not going to in the complex structures like octahedron and dodecahedron, and which is having a more than 6 faces. We are only focusing on these two, like all the solid space is having only 6 faces maximum. When the all faces are equal and regular, the polyhedra is said to be a regular polyhedra. Otherwise, it is a irregular polyhedra. So the second one was the prism. So prism is defined as it is having the two equal and similar faces called its end or base parallel to each other and joined by their faces, which are called the rectangles. So in the prism we are having the faces that is having a shape of the rectangles, right? As we have seen also in the previous diagram, the imaginary line joining the center of the base or face is called the axis of the prism. So this is your square prism. Okay, so we will see each and every terms. Like I have already mentioned you, like this is nothing but the face, the rectangular face. This is your edge. Okay, and we are calling it as a longer edge. This is your corner point. Okay, so corner of the base. This is your edge of the base. Okay, this is your edge or longer edge, and this is your edge of the base. This is the base, and this one is the top. According to the shape of the base, prism can be sub-classified into the following types. Like this is your triangular prism. This one is the square prism. This one is the pentagonal prism, and the last one is the hexagonal prism. The third one was the pyramid. So this is the polyhedra having plane surfaces as a base and a number of triangular faces meeting at a point called the vertex or apex. So in the prism it was the rectangular faces, in the pyramid we are having the triangular faces. And the imaginary line joining the apex with the center of the base is called the axis of the pyramid. So this is your square pyramid because this base is the square. So these are the triangular faces. This is called as the apex. This is the slant edge. Okay. In the pyramid we are having the edge and we call it as the slant edge. This is your base. This is your base, edge of the base. This is the corner point, and this one is the triangular faces. According to the shape of the base, pyramid can also be classified into the following types, like triangular pyramid, square pyramid, pentagonal pyramid, and hexagonal pyramid. The second one was the solid of revolution. The first one was the polyhedra. The second one was the solids of revolution. So solid of revolution we are getting by revolutions of plane about a fixed line. Then such solids are named as the solid of revolution. As we have seen in the when we are leveling the curves, the cone is generated by revolution of a triangular face, right? So the cone is nothing but the solid of revolution. So solid of revolution may be of a following types like cylinder, cone, ellipsoid, paraboloid, and hyperboloid. So we are interested into the like cylinder, cone, and sphere. These three, ellipsoid, paraboloid, and hyperboloid, we will not discuss. So basically, we are going to see these three, circuloid, cone, and sphere, in the next few slides. So first one is the cylinder. So right triangular cylinder is a solid generated by revolution of a rectangular plate or rectangular plane about its vertical side, which is remaining fixed. So this is your axis and this is your rectangular face. So by revolving, we are going to get a cylinder. So the second one is the cone. A right circular cone is a solid generated by the revolution of a right angle triangle about its vertical side, which remains fixed. That we have already seen. Like this is the triangular face when we are revolving it. Okay, so this one is the axis, this is the base, and these lines are called as the generators. Okay, when it was a triangular or rectangular pyramids, in the pyramids, that was the slant edge. When we are getting the curve, this is called as the generators. In the cylinder as well, the lines are called the generators. The next one is the sphere. A sphere is a solid generated by revolution of a circle about its one of the diagonals. So this is how we are going to get the sphere. So there are some important terms like edge or generator that we have already discussed. So for pyramid and a prism, edges are the lines separating the triangular faces or rectangular faces from each other. For cylinders, generators are the straight line joining different points of the circumference of the base with each other, while in the cone, generators are the lines joining different points on the circumference of the base of the apex. Right? The apex of the solid. So for the cone and pyramid, the apex is the point where all the generators or edges meets. So this is a pyramid, and where all the edges are meeting the apex, here all the generators that is meeting at a point is the apex. Axis of the solid. For the cone and pyramids, the axis is the imaginary line joining center of the base to the apex. While for the cylinder and prism, it is the line joining the centers of the ends or bases. So if it is a cylinder, line joining the center of the base is called the axis. There is a term like right solid. When the solid is said to be a right solid if its axis is perpendicular to the base. This is the hexagonal prism, and when the axis is perpendicular to the base, it is called as the right solid. Then there is a term oblique solid. It is said to be a oblique solid if its axis is inclined at an angle other than 90 degree to its base. So if the solid is something like this, when the axis is not perpendicular, then it is called as a oblique solid. When the solid is cut by a plane, the frustum of the solid. When the solid is cut by a plane parallel to its base, thus removing the top portion, the remaining lower portion is called as the frustum of the solid. So it is the square pyramid, and we are cutting it with a plane that is parallel to the base of the pyramid. Then the solid we are getting at the lower portion is called as the frustum of the solid. Or the solid is because of the pyramid, we will say it as the frustum of the pyramid. Then there is a term truncated solid. When a pyramid or a cone is cut by a plane inclined to its base. In the previous case, it was the plane that was parallel to the base. Here, the plane is inclined to the base, thus removing the top portion. The remaining lower portion is said to be a truncated solid. So it is again the square pyramid, and we are cutting it like this. So the remaining portion is the nothing but the truncated solid. So it is the truncated solid of the cone. It is the truncated part of the cylinder, and it is the truncated part of the pyramid. Then it is the frustum of the pyramid, frustum of the cone. So here are some examples, like if the axis is perpendicular to the HP, hence parallel to the both vertical plane and profile plane. Suppose it is in the question, it was given to you like axis is perpendicular to the HP. So it is the square pyramid we are taking right now. Okay, in this case we are getting a triangular face in the front view. Okay, so this part will be visible to you, and we are getting a triangular face in the front view. And in the top view we are getting the square, and inside that we are getting the small triangles. So this is the top view, and in the front view we are going to get a triangular face. Okay, so there will be a dark white line outside this ABCD. Okay, so then if it is given to you like axis is perpendicular to the vertical plane, like it is the hexagonal prism, and the axis is perpendicular to the vertical plane, then if you see it from the top, we are going to see this rectangular face, this rectangular face, and the rectangular face that is on the right side. So because this rectangular face is parallel to the vertical plane, we are going to get a true shape of the rectangular face, while this plane is inclined to the horizontal plane, and the other side is also inclined to the horizontal plane, so we are getting the reduced length of the rectangular plane, right? So when we are drawing the front view and top view of this hexagonal prism, so in the front view we are going to get a hexagon, as you can see, and these are the points. See, you can see here your point B and C at the bottom, your point F and E as the top. So this will be B, this will be C, this is your point D, E, F, and this is your point A. The same way, the other portion, we are getting a different points like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, right? And this hexagon is representing both of them. So this point will be A and 1, this point will be B and 2, this point will be 3 and 3, like this is your F and 6. So because of it is the front view, we are showing it like a dash, A1, 1 dash, B dash, 2 dash, in this way. Similarly, in the top view, we are getting this shape, and also you can draw the projectors from the front view from all these points, and see, this is your point A, this is your point 1. So it is the vertical plane, and xy is representing the vertical plane. So the point A1 will be on the xy line, and the point A will be at some distance from the vertical plane. So this will be your point A, and this will be your point 1. The same way we are getting the other points, and this is how you can draw the front view and top view of the hexagon. So there is another example, like axis is perpendicular to the profile plane and hence parallel to the both vertical plane and horizontal plane. So in this example, it is a triangular prism and the axis is perpendicular to the profile plane, so that the axis will be parallel to the vertical plane and also the horizontal plane and vertical plane. So in this question, you can see here in the front view, you will get a rectangular, and in the side view, we will get the triangular, and from the top, we will get the rectangle, and we will also see this edge from the top. So we are going to get a two rectangle of a same size. So basically, we are seeing this rectangular face from the top and the other rectangular face that is on the other side from the top view. So we are getting the two rectangular faces in the top view. So these are the points like 1, 2, 3 and A, B and C. So in the front view, when we will draw it, so this will be showing the point C, this will be showing your point 3, and this is your A and B, and this one is the 1 and 2. In the side view, it is the C and 3, this one is the A and 1, and this one will be B and 2. And in the top view, we will see in the diagram. So this is the front view. Okay, and as we know, in the side view, when we are doing projectors, this C and 3 should be lie on the same straight line, like the solid is in between these projectors. See, if you're drawing the front view and side view by using these two, we can draw the top view. Like the projectors in the vertical direction from the all these points. Then from that we are drawing the 45-degree. We are drawing the line at the 45-degree. After that we are projecting the points in the horizontal direction from this vertical line. And where the points are cutting, like this is the line which is representing the A and B. So from this we are getting the point A, and from here we are getting the point B. The similar way we are getting the other points like 1, 2, 3 and C. So this is your top view. So here are some examples, like if your solid is said to be standing on the HP, so the axis should be vertical to the horizontal line, XY line. So suppose it is said to be like your solid is resting on one of its base of the circle. Okay, so it is the cone, that's why it is written here like circle. Okay, so this the solid is resting on the one of its point, or it can be also said like your axis is inclined to the horizontal plane and parallel to the vertical plane. So it is the case when the your solid is lying on the HP on one of its generator. So as we have discussed, these lines are called the generators. So we have to put this generator on the XY line. After that, we know the position of the points with respect to this generator. So we can mark this point here. This is the way we can draw the front view of the solid. The same way we can see when the solid is standing on the vertical plane, inclined to the vertical plane, and lying on the vertical plane. So here are some steps like we have seen in the projection of the planes. It is also the steps are also similar here in the case of the projection of the solid. Like if in the question it is said like your solid is inclined to the horizontal plane. So first of all we will assume that the solid is standing on the horizontal plane. If it is said like your solid is inclined to the vertical plane, then we will first assume that our solid is standing on the vertical plane. So if it is assumed like your horizontal plane, your solid is standing on the horizontal plane. Okay, so we are going to see the true shape of the base on the top view. If it is standing on the vertical plane, then we are going to see the true shape of the base on the top view. Sorry, in the front view. Okay, so here are some examples like if your solid is cylinder or prism, then the front view will be the rectangle. If it is standing on the HP, the front view will be the rectangle. If it is a cone or a pyramid, then front view will be the triangle. Right? After that, we are considering the solid inclination to the other plane as well. Then we can draw the front view and top view of the solid. So here are some examples like if your solid is said to be inclined to the horizontal plane, then we are considering it like it is standing on the horizontal plane. So it is a cone, then the top view will be a circle. Then we are inclined it to the horizontal plane. If you look it from the top, your solid will be look like this. Okay, so when when we will solve the problem, then we will see like the portion which are visible to you, like we will draw it with the help of a continuous line, and the part which are not visible to us, we will draw it with the help of a dashed line. Okay, so in this question, if we discuss it, like the when we are drawing the base of the cone, this portion, the top portion will be visible to you, but the bottom portion will not be visible to you. So this portion we will draw with the help of a dashed line, and this portion we will draw with the help of a solid line. So we will see when we are solving the problem. So and after this, suppose your solid is inclined to the vertical plane as well, then we will draw a line at some angle. Then we will mark the axis on this line, and we will copy this diagram here. Then we will draw the projectors, and we will draw the front view. The same way we can see how the cylinder will look like when it is inclined to the horizontal plane, and after inclined it to the vertical plane, the solid will look like this in the front view. The same thing is like when the solid is inclined to the vertical plane, then we will assume it like axis is perpendicular to the vertical plane, then we will incline this solid. So the same way, if it is given the inclination of the solid from both of the plane, we can start with the inclination with the vertical plane first, then the horizontal plane. Okay, what the final answer will be the same, right? So here is the first example. Draw the projection of the pentagonal prism, base 25 mm side and the axis is 50 mm long, resting on one of its rectangular face on the HP, while the axis is inclined to the 45-degree with the VP. So first of all, we will assume that the solid is standing on the VP. If it is standing on the VP, then in the front view, we will see the base or top, and that is nothing but the pentagon, right? And it is also given that the solid is resting on one of its rectangular face. So when we will draw the pentagon, pentagon should be, the orientation of the pentagon should be like this, such that your face, one of the face should be at the XY line. So if it is a solid, then the corners of the this pentagon will represents the 2 points. One is at the front and the another one is the at the back. If I look it from the top, I can see these two faces of the pentagons, while these three faces we cannot see. So to draw the top view of this pentagon, we will draw the projectors from the each and every points. So this is the height of the pentagon. That is 50 mm long. So this is how your pentagon. So this is how your pentagonal prism will look like when you see it from the top. These are the two lines that is representing the edge of the pentagonal prism will not be visible. So we will draw it with the help of a dash line. Okay, so then we will incline this top view at 45 degree so that the axis will be, see, the axis of the pentagon will be on this line, somewhere on this line. So this line is also representing the axis of the pentagonal prism, and it is asked in the question that axis is inclined at 45 degree with the VP. So we will draw a line at 45 degree and we will mark this line on that line. After that, we will draw the other portion of the top view, as we have done in the case of the projection of the planes. Okay, after that, I will draw the vertical projectors from the top view and the horizontal projectors from the front view. So I will get all these points of the pentagonal prism. So first I can join these lines like A, B, C, D, E with the help of a 2H pencil and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the help of a 2H. The lines like B and 2, 1 and A, E and 5, these lines should be connected, these points should be connected to each other. Then, as we have seen here, the visual part we are drawing with the help of a continuous solid line, while the hidden part we are drawing with the help of a dashed line. The similar way, if I look this pentagonal prism from the front view, means from this direction, okay, then I can see this face, right, and this edge AN1, while the other base or top is not be visible, right? And when this edge is visible, then the face connected to this edge, that is nothing but the AB21 and AE51. So these two faces will be visible from the front side. So starting with the lines joining the points of base or top, then our edge A1 is visible, B2 will be visible, and E5 will be visible. Okay, after that, the other portions like B, C, and D, this B to C and C to D will be invisible. So we are drawing with the help of a dash line. The same way, the edge C3 will be invisible. So we are drawing with the help of a dash line. Okay, so this part like A1 and this portion of a line C3 is overlapped. So the remaining portion we are drawing with the help of a dash line. So this is how we will draw the projection of the solids. Here is the next question. A square pyramid 40 mm base side, axis 60 mm long, has a triangular face on the ground and the vertical plane containing the axis makes an angle of 45 degrees with the vertical plane. Draw its projection. Take apex nearer to the vertical plane. So in the question it is given that the triangular face is on the ground. Means first we will assume that our solid is standing on the horizontal plane. So first we will draw the top view and front view of the square pyramid. So if it is standing on the HP, we will see a square from the top and a triangle from the front view. So we will draw the square like this, okay, so that your one face should be on that line. Means if it is a slant edge, so this slant edge, so this slant edge having this point representing the D and B. So this line is representing the face of the triangle. If I had drawn the square pyramid like this, so this point will be representing the only the one point, and this line will be representing the slant edge, while if it is a while in this case it is representing the point D and C, and this is your apex point, then it is the triangular face. Then I will put this triangular face on the ground. Then I will draw the other part of the. Then I will draw this point somewhere here. So this is the way I can draw the front view when this triangular face is on the ground. After that, I will draw the vertical projectors from the front view and the horizontal projectors from the top view. So I will get all these points. Okay. If I see it from the top, I can see the base of the triangular pyramid, this face OAB from the top. So this part will be, we are connecting with the help of a continuous solid line, while this triangular face like O dash, C dash, D dash will be at the bottom, so we can't see it. So I will join these lines with the help of a dash line. So this is your top view. After that, it is given that the axis is making an angle of 45 degree with the vertical plane. So if you can see here, this is the point where the axis is cutting at the base, right? So from that I can draw a line here. So I will get a point. From that I will join the point O1. So this is your axis, and axis I am drawing with the help of a dash dot dash dot. This is the way I can draw the axis. Then I will draw a line at 45 degree. Then I will measure the length of the axis here and mark it. After marking it, I will put the O1 here because it is given in the question that the apex is near to the VP. So O point will be near to the XY line. Then I will join other points with reference to the axis. Then I will draw the vertical projectors from the top view and horizontal projectors from the front view. Then I will get the front view of the square pyramid. So if you see it from the front, then you can see the O, B and C. This face, the base of the pyramid, right? So this will be made of a continuous solid line, while this line I will join with the help of a dash line. Suppose in the question it was given like your apex is far from the VP, then I would have marked the O dash point away from the XY line and the base of the pyramid near to the XY line. So the top view will be something like this, and according to that we should draw the front view of the square pyramid. It is the next question. Draw the position of the cone, base 45 mm diameter and the axis is 50 mm long when it is resting on the ground on the point on its base circle. So again, we will assume that our cone is standing on the, first of all, standing on the HP, right? In the first part, it is given your axis is making an angle of 30 degree with the horizontal plane and 45 degree with the vertical plane. While in the second part, it is given that the axis is making an angle of 30 degree with the horizontal plane and its top view making 45 degree with the vertical plane. So in this question, our axis means true length of the axis is making the angle of 30 degree and 45 degree, while in the second part the true length of the axis is making 30 degree angle with the horizontal plane, while top view of the axis is making 45 degree with the vertical plane. So first of all, I will draw the circle. As we can see from the top is the top view and this is the front view. So again, in the case of the circle, I am dividing the circle into the 12 equal parts, and from the each part I am drawing the projectors. When I draw the projector, see it is the base of the cone, and in the front view it is the base of the cone. So all the point I am drawing, I will connect at the base of the cone. After that, I will join all these points with the apex, and so that these lines will represent the generator of the cone. Then it is given that cone is resting on the ground on the one of its point on the base, and it is making an angle of 30 degree with the horizontal plane. So I will draw a line at 30 degree, then, or what I can do is I can draw the base at 60 degree, and after that I will join, then I will mark the apex point and I can join the base with the apex. Okay, then I will draw the vertical lines from the front view and the horizontal line from the top view, so that I will get the top view of the cone. See, when I am drawing the top view of the cone, if I see it from the top, then it is the curved portion and I can see only the half portion, means up to the center point. When I will draw the base, so when I will draw the base of this cone, these parts like 1, 2, 3, and this is your 4, and 1, 12, 11 and 10. These points I will draw with the help of a continuous solid line, while the bottom parts I will join with the help of a dashed line. Okay, so this is our top view of the cone. See, up to which portion it is visible from the top will be decided by this line. When I join the line, so wherever it meets this circle, up to that point we will join with the help of a continuous line, while the other portion we will join with the help of a dashed line. After that, it is inclined at 45 degree with the vertical plane. So it is the true axis. So I will take this length because this length is true length of the axis, and I will draw a line at 45 degree and I will mark this length. Then I will take this, then I will measure this length. I will put the rounder here and I will cut an arc on this horizontal line so that I will get this axis here. After getting the axis, I will mark all these points with reference to this axis, and I will draw the cone exactly the same size as we have got in the previous step. Then I will draw the vertical lines from this cone, this top view, and horizontal line from this front view. If I see the cone from the front, then this base is at the near to the vertical plane. So I will not be able to see the base of the cone, right? So there will be some part that will be joined with the help of a dash line, and some of the portion will be visible. So that will be drawn with the help of a continuous line. Okay. So this is how I can draw the front view of the cone. Okay. Then in the other part, it was given that top view of the axis is making 45 degree with the vertical plane. So I will draw a line at 45 degree and I will draw this axis on this line. I will draw the vertical lines from this top view and horizontal line from this front view of the cone. Then again I will get the, so here you can see the difference that this portion is longer than this portion. Here is another question. A pentagonal pyramid base 25 mm side and axis 50 mm long has one of its triangular face on the VP. So in this case, the triangular face in the VP. So we will first assume that our pentagonal pyramid is standing on the vertical plane, and the edge of the base contained by that face means the face which is lying on the vertical plane. At that face we are having the edges, so that edge is making the 30-degree angle with the horizontal plane. Draw its projection. So in the front view we are going to get the pentagon as it is standing on the vertical plane, right? After that, see, I have to find out the center point of the pentagon because I have to mark the axis. For that, I will draw a line perpendicular to the base from the one of its corner. So I will draw a line that is perpendicular to this edge from one of its corner. Then again I will draw a line, another line that is perpendicular to this edge from the this corner. So I will get a point. this point is nothing but the center. After getting the center point, I will join all these corner points with the O because it is the pyramid. After that, I will draw the vertical lines from this front view. So I will get the axis line. After getting the axis line, I can mark the point O at 50 mm from the XY line. Then I will join other points with the apex O. So this is your top view. Then it is given that the solid is lying on the vertical plane while its, its triangular face on the VP. So in this diagram, this is representing a point C. This is representing the 2 points A dash and E. Means this line is representing a triangular face while this line is representing the slant edge of the pyramid. So we will put this line on the XY line. Then I will draw the other parts of the top view. So first I will draw the O, A and E. Then I will mark the point C. After that, I will mark the point B and D either with respect to A or E or with respect to point C. Okay. After getting this, I will draw the front view of the pentagonal pyramid. Right. So I will draw the vertical projectors from the top view and horizontal projectors. If you look at the solid from the front view, means from this direction, I will able to see the base of the pyramid, this edge AC of the pyramid, and the triangular face joining with this edge OC, that is nothing but the OBC and ODC. These two triangular faces will be visible, while this triangular face will be at the back side. So I will join this line. So I will join this line OA and OE with the help of a dash line. So this is your front view. Then it is given that your edge of the base that is contained by that face, means your face is O, A and E, that is on the vertical plane, and the edge is nothing but the AE. See, this AE is making an angle of 30 degree with the horizontal plane. So I will draw a line at 30 degree. I will draw this line AE on this line. Then I will draw exactly the same diagram here. Okay, so this is the way you can draw the front view again at 30 degree inclination. Then I will draw the vertical lines from the front view and horizontal line from the top view. So I will get the top view of the pentagonal pyramid. So if you see it from the top, the base is at the bottom. So this will not be visible. Okay, while all the edges, all the slant edges will be visible. Okay, so all the slant edges is visible while the base is not visible. So when I join the point B and sorry, only the one point, only the one line is remaining, that is D to E, that I will join with the help of a dash line.